Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grandpa Tells It All, a podcast filled with wonderful stories and maybe a little advice, too. So let's get started. Oh, yes, that day, the wedding, the most beautiful, chaotic, heartfelt day of my life. Pull up a chair, kiddo. Let me take you back to June 3rd, 1966, the day I married your grandma, and the world somehow became both more ridiculous and more perfect all at once. Now, first thing you need to know is it was supposed to be simple. Just a backyard wedding under the big oak tree behind your great-grandma's farmhouse, a handful of friends, some sandwiches, and a local string band made up of two brothers and a guy named Dwayne, who may or may not have known how to play the fiddle. Your grandma, Margaret, didn't care for big to-dos. She wanted wildflowers, not roses, lemonade instead of champagne, and she told me clear as day, all I want is to marry you, eat pie, and dance until my feet hurt. So that was the plan. We set up everything ourselves, white folding chairs, borrowed tablecloths, mason jars with daisies. Frankie grilled burgers. Aunt Doris made deviled eggs. And someone, to this day I don't know who, brought a crate of live chickens for ambiance. Rural charm, I guess. But right around noon, the sky started getting that look. You know the one. That heavy, bluish gray, like it's holding its breath before the storm lets loose. Now I'm standing there in a hand-me-down suit, sleeves too short, tie crooked, waiting at the makeshift altar, nervous as anything, when the first drop hits the tip of my nose. Then boom! Thunder. Big, belly-shaking thunder. And then it poured. Guests scrambled. Chairs toppled. The pie table collapsed under the weight of soggy blueberry filling. One of the chickens broke loose and started flapping madly across the yard like it was in a horror movie. The string band? Dwayne slipped in the mud, landed flat on his fiddle, and let out a yell that sent the other two packing. I thought, well, that's it. We'll have to reschedule. No wedding today. But then, out of the downpour, like something out of a storybook, comes your grandma, soaked head to toe, her dress clinging to her like wet paper, hair sticking to her face, but her eyes, they were shining, and she's laughing. She waded through the mud, grabbed my hand, and said, "We're getting married, rain or not. Let's just do it right here." So we did. No music, no preacher in robes, just old Mr. Callahan from next door, who was ordained thanks to a fishing club wedding he performed once in Reno. We huddled under a leaking tent flap with 20 people soaked to the bone, and that one loose chicken still squawking nearby. I said my vows with mud on my shoes and rain dripping off my nose. She said hers with grass stains on her hem and a grin that made my heart squeeze. And when Mr. Callahan pronounced us husband and wife, I kissed her like we were the only two people on earth. Everyone cheered, even the chicken, probably. Later, we danced in the barn with no music, just humming and laughter and the sound of the rain on the tin roof. Your grandma took off her shoes, and we spun around on the wooden floor while the candles flickered and the storm rumbled outside. And let me tell you, kid, that wasn't just a wedding. That was a promise that life would get messy, that storms would come, that plans would fall apart, but we'd show up anyway, together. So whenever life throws a little rain your way, you remember this: love doesn't need perfection. It just needs two people willing to dance barefoot in the mud. Enjoying the videos? Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, as there is plenty more Grandpa's stories to come.